Hi everyone, good evening guys. How is everybody? I hope I'm audible to all of you. Yes. Hello, welcome all. Please give me a quick reply if I'm audible to each one of you. Those who are watching live, kindly respond once. Yes. Okay, chalo, ठीक है. So before we get into the today's session, that is linear arrangement. I know that arrangement is something that is very basic, but again, this is one topic that helps to build the foundation of your LR, right? Your logical thinking gets developed using linear arrangement, right? But before we get into the topic, there's a major announcement to make here. So we are launching our R4 batch, right? So R4 batch is launched tomorrow, right? We are starting with the classes tomorrow itself. And in this batch, we have the four faculties here that you can see here, right? So Ravi sir is taking quants along with me, right? Nikita ma'am is taking BRC for this batch, and me and Abhishek sir will also be involved in the LRDI. So I will be a part of both QA and LRDI. Ravi sir will be with me for QA, and Abhishek sir will be with me for the LRDI section, right? Nikita ma'am will take your VRC. Now, what are the batch offerings here? So you will have live classes, and also the recordings of those live classes are available just after the class, right? So in case if you're a working professional, you're college going, and you tend to miss out on the classes, you are free to watch the recording, right? Apart from that, the syllabus is covered from very basic to the very advanced level, right? And for this, the add-on that you will get here is the quant bridge, which is a course that has been made. I have recorded a lot of videos in this. There are 20 around videos in this, and we'll be adding more videos to the quant bridge, where it is in complete English, and it is from the very scratch level. So somebody who doesn't know even how to frame equation, who doesn't know how to calculate percentage, that student will also benefit from this contest. So this is an add-on to your course here, right? Along with that, there are 12 physical booklets, 105 sectionals, 30 plus cat mocks, and then the booster sessions are also a part of this, right? Along with that, we have weekly doubt classes that will be taken by the faculties, and there are mentors as well who will be taking your doubt sessions in the doubt group itself, right? There are daily practice papers that will be offered in the batch here, right? So these are the offerings here. The most important, the USB of this batch is the complete English batch, right? So somebody who comes from the south side, who is not very comfortable with Hindi or English as well, those students are most welcome in this batch, and they will benefit a lot from here because the entire batch will be in English, right? And also the students who feel that English is something that they want to have a part, they want to bring it in their daily communication, they can also be a part of this batch, even if they're from the north side, right? Why? Because ultimately going forward, when you get into your MBA, when you get into the corporates, like after you're done with your MBAs, English is the medium that will be using for communicating with people. So it's very important that from now on itself, if you have that hesitation, it should go right away, and from now itself you should start communicating in English. So in a way, being a part of the English batch, you will somewhere be involved in a dialogue with me or the other faculty who's taking your class, and that is how your English will also at least you will get rid of that hesitation, in whether it is through chat or whether you are coming on the mic mode. It will really help you, right? Hi Sujal, how are you? Good to see you here, right? So let's get started with the session here. Now, before I start with the first set that I want to give you guys today for solving, I would want you to know certain things, right? So there are certain, symbols that we can use to, represent the condition that are given in the arrangements, the problem statements, right? I'll show you what are the different kind of statement that you come across. So for example, if I say a statement like, let's say A is next to B, right? So when I say A is next to B, it can be that A is to the left of B, or it can be A is to the right of B, because it is not specified that whether A is to the left or A is to the right. So when I say A is next to B, A can be either to the left or A can be either to the right, right? Now, one very important statement that people get confused is when I say A is to the right of B, right? So what people do here is when I say A is to the right of B, so they assume that A is to the immediate right of B, but that is not necessary. It is also possible that A can be somewhere to the right of B, right? So when you say that A is to the right of B, it is not necessary that A has to be to the immediate right of B. It can be somewhere to the right of B as well, right? And another very important thing that you need to understand here is the another important statement, which is when I say, let's say A and B are two spaces apart. Let's say if I tell you that A and B are two spaces apart. So a lot of people, what they do is they make the placement like this. Okay, let's say this, and this, right? But remember, this is incorrect. Okay, when you're saying that A and B are two spaces apart, so there is somebody who's standing in this gap, let's say, right? There's somebody who's standing in this particular gap. So between this person and this person, there is one space. Between this person and this person, there's another space. Between this person and this person, there's a third space. So you wanted A and B to be two spaces apart, but now here there are three spaces apart, right? So when I say that A and B are two spaces apart, it implies that there's a gap of exactly one between A and B. So the moment I tell you that A and B are two spaces apart, it implies that there's a gap of one person between the two, right? Similarly, the same logic is used in another kind of a statement as well. For example, if I tell you John lives two floors above Emily, right? So when I say John lives two floors above Emily, right? So a lot of people, what they arrangement they do is John, and then they'll put two floors, and then they'll put Emily here. This is again incorrect. Why? Let's say suppose, okay? Let's say suppose Emily is living on the first floor, okay? So now this is my second floor, this is my third floor, and this is my fourth floor. So now if you see, John is living one, two, and three floors above Emily, right? But I wanted John to live two floors above Emily. So when I say John is living two floors above Emily, so the correct arrangement will become nothing but I can say Emily should be, if Emily is here, then there should be a gap of one, and then there should be John, right? So you have to be very careful with the term spaces, as well as when there is floor arrangement questions, you have to be very, very careful. Is everybody good till here? Could everybody follow? I'm looking at the comments here. If there are any comments, any doubts, please post it in the comment section. And if you guys are listening, and if you guys could follow, please write a Y in the chat box. That would really let me know that you guys are able to follow here. And it's a great thing if we have a dialogue here. It shouldn't be a monologue where I am the only person who's speaking. So I would love to hear from you guys. Yes, sir. Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right, chalo, let's move ahead now. So I'll give you a small set here. Okay, so this is the set for today. It's an easy puzzle, right? It's a seating arrangement. It's an arrangement based puzzle, obviously, right? And there are certain set of questions here, right? So these are the questions. You guys can take a screenshot of the questions first, right? And I would want you guys to try these questions. Okay, please try these 5 questions here, and then we will discuss them one by one, right? So let me know once it is done in the comment section, and then we will start with the discussion here, right? So here are the questions. Please take a screenshot. I hope the questions are visible. Okay. Yeah, I think my image is coming on the third question options here. Okay, no worries. I'll tell you the options. The third question option I'll tell you when you guys are solving it. If you have a doubt, I cannot adjust my image right now. Okay, done. Okay, cool. Chalo. So please try this. I'll give you 10 minutes for this set here. Okay, I'm giving you exactly 10 minutes for this set. And those who are here, please stay tuned. If you have any queries as well, towards the end of the session, we can take that as well, right? So any doubts, any queries, if you have, then we can take it up towards the end of this session. Okay. So any doubts regarding to profile or anything, we'll take it up towards the end of this particular session here. Sorry for this off-topic question, sir, but can you please tell me the timings of the R4 batch? Yes, so the timings of the R4 batch is, I can say, we'll be having classes in the morning starting from 10:30, right? So 10:30 a.m. and there will be, if there are two sessions in the day, then it will go up to 2:30 p.m. So let's say 10:30 to 12:30 or 10:15 to 12:15 and then 12:30 to 2:30, right? If there's one session, the timing can be 10:30 to 12:30 as well. So these are the timing. The slot is ideally between 10:15 to 2 p.m. So if that slot suits you well, then definitely you can join the batch, right? And also remember that there are recordings as well available. So if you're someone who wants to stick to the recordings, you can do that as well, right? I hope Anshuman, if there are any queries, then other than that, please ask me. I'll be more than happy to answer your queries. All right. So are you guys able to solve something in this set? It's a very easy puzzle. Nothing at all difficult. Done. Okay. So Anshuman is done solving. What about other people? I would love to have a response, guys. Anshuman is done solving. Anybody else doing? Okay, please take your time. Anshuman, please post your answers. As you're done solving, you are free to post your answers in the chat here. Also, guys, those who are new to our YT channel today, right, who are coming for our Rodha platform for the first time. So tomorrow at 5 p.m., I'll be taking a live session on our portal in the free course, right? So if you're someone who is not registered on our Rodha platform, you guys can go register yourself, create an account, and have a feel of how the classes look like on the portal, right? So you will really love the classes there with the polls and the dashboard, and the interface is so engaging and happening that you will really like it, and you will enjoy the live class. You'll never feel bored for a moment as well, right? So that is the best part about our interface, that it is very interactive and very beautifully done by us. So yeah, so you guys can definitely attend a free class tomorrow, that is at 5 p.m., and we'll be doing a quant based puzzle. Okay, so we'll be doing a number based puzzle, so that will be a fun puzzle to solve, and you guys will really love that. So please do join tomorrow as well. All right, chalo. So let's just start with the discussion of this set now. I think 10 minutes are done, and I have given you people enough time for this, right? So let's get started with the discussion of this particular set now. So it says here a cupboard has five shelves numbered 1 to 5 from bottom to top. Each shelf has two compartments. All right, so I have five shelves here. Let's say numbered 1 to 5 from bottom to top. So I say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And each of the shelf has two compartments here, right? So I'll put in two compartments for each of the shelf here, right? Now, further tells me that there are eight items, that is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H in the cupboard, no two of which are in the same compartment. Okay. So I can say that there are eight items which are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and they have to be placed in these shelves, right? So you cannot put A and B together in the same compartment. Okay. So that means one item will appear in only one compartment itself. This is what it means, right? Now it says items D and E are on the same shelf. So what does this condition tell me? That D and E, wherever they will appear, they will always appear together. That means they are on the same shelf, right? In different compartments, obviously, but they're on the same shelf. This is one of my conditions. So D and E will always appear together. That is one thing for sure, right? Now, the next point is B is on the shelf directly below G, right? So B is on the shelf directly below G. So I can say directly below G, I should have B here. So that is one other important condition that has been given to me, right? Now, further tells me if a shelf contains only one item, it cannot be directly above or directly below another shelf that contains only one item. Now, what does this imply? It is telling me that if a shelf, right, let's say there's a shelf here which contains only one item, there's an item on this shelf, right? So the shelf above this, right, and the shelf below this, it cannot have only one item. That means they should have two items above that and two items below that as well, right? So if there is any shelf, right, I'm again repeating, it is telling me that if there's any shelf that contains only one item, it cannot be directly above or directly below another shelf that contains only one item. That means if this is one, so you cannot have a one here or you cannot have a one here. It has to be two and two. Why? Because the shelf above that and the shelf below that cannot have one item. So it is supposed to have two items here, right? Now, further tells me C is the only item on one of the shelves. So what is this condition telling me is that C is the only item on one of the shelves. That means wherever C is coming, in whichever shelf C is coming, C will come by all by itself. There will be no other item along with C in that particular shelf. I hope everybody could follow till here. Yes. Is each one of you good till here? Okay. Now there's only one item on the fourth shelf. So fourth shelf has only one item. That means I'll put a cross here. One of the compartment is definitely empty. There's no item, and there's one item on the fourth shelf. Now it could be anything, right? You cannot say that it will be C itself, because you have read this condition that C is one of the item. C is the only item on one of the shelves, so that does not imply that it necessarily has to be C here. It could be any item here, right? So I'm not sure of that, so I'm gonna leave this place empty here. But definitely on the fourth shelf, there is exactly one item, right? Now, what does that tell me? If the fourth shelf has exactly one item, so to satisfy my third condition, can I say that the number of items above this shelf should be exactly two, and below this shelf should also be exactly two? That is one of my connecting points, right? The moment I see that there's exactly one item on the fourth shelf, then the shelf above that should have exactly two items, and the shelf below that should also have exactly two items, because I want to satisfy this third condition of mine, right? Now, also out of eight items, we had eight items to be placed, right? Five are done, three are remaining. So the distribution of the remaining three can be 1, 2, or it can be 2 and 1. So there can be one item on the second shelf, two item on the last shelf, or it can be the first shelf basically, or it can be two items on the second shelf and one item on the first shelf. So any of the two cases are possible. So this is my entire understanding from the given set of a statement that I have got here, right? So I hope everybody is comfortable till here. We have understood every single point. We have noted down our conditions, and now I think we are pretty good to go with the questions one by one here. So let's just start with the questions one by one, because now there's nothing else that I can do, right? So I have to start solving the questions one by one. So I'll start with the first question here, which has, let me just quickly again, draw the shelves here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So we have two compartments on each of the shelf here, right? And let's see what is this set telling me, right? So this question is telling me if H is on the fourth shelf, which of the following cannot be true, right? Now, if H is on the fourth shelf, so we know that there's only one item on the fourth shelf, right? Then it is telling me that which of the following cannot be true here, right? Now, if you observe here, so we know that if H is on the fourth shelf, right? So there have to be one of the options cannot be true, right? So in such kind of questions, you have to take one option at a time and see which option is fitting in, right? So Anshuman has answered first ka C. So let's check for C first, right? So Anshuman is saying that first C is the correct answer. So I'll check for C first. D and E are on the top shelf. Now, if I put D and E on the top shelf, right? If I put D and E on the top shelf, so why is this not possible, Anshuman? What is the reason for this being not possible, right? Because I can put a G and B somewhere, right? I can put a C here when it is the only item on one of the shelf, and then I can put the remaining one. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, right? So we have placed A and F is left, so we can put A and F somewhere, right? A and F can come at any of these places. So this is a possible, no? This can be true, right? So option C is definitely not the answer, right? That is for sure that option C is definitely not the answer. Why? Because I'm not violating any condition by putting D and E on the top shelf, right? But if you observe here, right? If you observe here, if you check for option number B, which says D and E are on the second shelf. So if you put D and E are on the second shelf, right? If you put this here, then what will happen? You know that B was directly below G. Now, is there any combination left where you can put B directly below G? This and this is not possible. This and this is not possible. This and this is also not possible. This and this is also not possible. So there's no place left to put these two items here, right? Because G was B was directly below G, so there is no place left to place G and B here. If I put D and E on the second shelf, right? So that means this cannot be a true statement. So my answer for the first question is definitely option number B here. I hope everybody could follow, right, Anshuman? Could you understand that why this cannot be true? Because I'm hoping that you have not misread the question as can be true. It says cannot be true, right? So this cannot be true for sure. Is there any doubt so far? Anyone? Please respond, guys. Anybody has any doubts? No? Okay, great. Chalo. Let's move ahead to the question number 2 here. So question number 2 is saying which one of the following is a complete and accurate list of items any one of which could be on the top shelf, right? Okay, let's see. Now, on the top shelf, what are the items that are possible, right? So right now we saw in the previous case when we were solving the first question, we saw that hi Sulaksh. It's good to see you here from Nepal. You're most welcome to the session, right? And first B is from Boomer wants coffee. That was the right answer. Great, great. Okay. Now, let tell me the answer for this one, right? So for this question, I can one thing for sure that D and E definitely can be on the top shelf, right? D and E definitely can be on the top shelf, right? Also, can B be on the top shelf? Please tell me. Is that possible that B is on the top shelf? Is that possible? No, B cannot be on the top shelf. Why? Because above B there has to be G, right? So above B there has to be G. So B cannot be on the top shelf. That is one of my understanding. So whichever option has B, that cannot be my answer, right? So option C is ruled out, right? Option A is also ruled out. Why? Because D and E both can be on the top shelf. So option A only has D, right? So we'll start eliminating, right? Now, can C be on the top shelf? Can C be on the top shelf? We know that there's only one item on the fourth shelf, right? And C, wherever it comes, it is the only item on that shelf. So one item on fourth shelf and one item on the fifth shelf, if you are considering C on the top shelf. But that is not possible. Why? Because in that case, I will violate my this particular condition. That if a shelf contains one item, it cannot be directly above or directly below another shelf that contains only one item. So my third condition will be violated, right? If I'm putting C on the top shelf, then there are only one item on the fourth and the fifth shelf, which is violating my third condition. So that is why whichever option has C, that option is also ruled out, right? So I can rule out option number B, I can rule out option number D as well. So that means the only possible answer is E here. So you don't have to check for all the of them, right? Anything is possible. You don't have to check for all of them. It's just that you need to be sure, okay, that what options can you eliminate. So whenever you have a arrangement set on such type of, in such kind of lines where, there are options in such a way that you have to check everything. So it's always a great idea to go and eliminate the options, right? Find reasons that how you can eliminate. The same thing you'll be learning in, VRC as well. So VRC also you'll be learning how to eliminate options. So same thing I'm telling you in arrangement as well. All right. Chalo, let's move to the third one now. So which of the following must be true? I hope there are no doubts, guys. Quick reply from all of you. Can you all give me a quick response if there are any doubts till now? No? Okay, great. All right, chalo, let's see. Now, question 3, which one of the following must be true, right? So if you observe here, can I say straight away that my answer is option number C, right? Why? We just did in the very first question that if H is on the fourth shelf, then D and E are not on the second shelf, right? If you go back, the very first question here, this was the question. If H is on the fourth shelf, which of the following cannot be true? D and E are on the second shelf. This cannot be true, right? That means if H is on the fourth shelf, right? If H is on the fourth shelf, then D and E cannot be on the second shelf, isn't it? And this is what this statement is telling me, right? So that is why definitely I'm sure that the answer is option number C. I don't have to check other options, right? We have already done this in the first question. So you see here that, whenever the sets are on the lengthier side, examiner will give you one easy sitter where you can easily mark the answers, but many of you would have missed this particular point and would have tried checking each of these statements. That would have made you waste a lot of time, right? So it's very important, it's an important key here that you should read every single question and every single option very, very carefully. All right, I hope you guys could follow. Let's move to question number 4 here now, right? Now the question number 4 says, if G is on the top shelf and A is on the third shelf, then which of the following must be true? Let's see. Okay. So I have 5, 4, 3, 2, and the first shelf. Anybody wants to give me the answer for this one? Anybody who wants to give me the right answer? D. Okay. Bhavani is saying D. Anybody else who can give me the answer? English channel students, guys. Anybody? Those who are watching it live, anybody who wants to give me the answer for this one? Okay, let's see. Chalo, we'll see now. If G is on the top shelf, okay, so G is on the top shelf and A is on the third shelf. So A is on the third shelf, and we know that there's only one item on the fourth shelf, right? So that means what? B has to be here, right? That means what? B has to be here. All of you agree? Is everybody good till here? Please respond, guys. Is everybody good till here? Yes. English channel. Okay, great. Now, after that, we know that C is the only item on one of the shelves, right? And D and E are always coming together, right? So D and E, so out of these two shelves, right? One of the shelf will be occupied by D and E, and one of the shelf would be occupied by C here, right? So one of the shelf will have both the items. Let's say this has D and E, so this will have C, right? Because C is the only item on one of the shelf. So this can interchange as well, right? This can interchange. So can I say that the remaining, that is F and H, if F is here, then H is here, right? And if H is here, then F is here. So this is the only possibility of the arrangement. If you put G on the top shelf, B has to be directly below it. Then A is here. It was already given. Then D and E and C have to be in the first two shelves. So the top shelf and this shelf will have H and F in any order, because I do not have any condition on H and F. So there's no condition that I'm violating. So this is the possibility. Now, as per the options, if you read carefully, so option number D tells me either F or H must be on the same shelf as A. So that is a true statement, right? So this is definitely true. So my answer is option number D here. I don't need to check for the other options. Any doubts, any one of you? Anybody has any doubts so far? No? Sure? Okay, great. Sure. Let's move to the next one. Now, this is again a iffy question, right? So whenever there are iffy questions, now the problem with iffy questions is that you have to make cases, right? So whenever I see a iffy question set in the exam, I always skip such kind of sets in my first attempt. Why? The reason is that they're lengthy. Such kind of sets are lengthy, though this was not very lengthy. But again, whenever you find a iffy set question, those are on the lengthier side, right? So they will eat up a lot of time of yours. So it's better to avoid them in the first round. If you feel that you're comfortable with such sets, you can maybe attempt them in the second round, but avoid them in the first round for sure. Don't attempt them in the first round. All right, now let's look at this one now. So first I will draw my shelves here. So 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and then 5, right? Now if A and B are on the second shelf, okay, let's see. I hope no doubt so far. Okay, so A and B are on the second shelf, right? Now, if A and B are on the second shelf, and we know that B is directly below G, right? So can I say G is definitely on this shelf, right? This shelf has exactly one item, right? Now, what is the position for D and E? So remember, we considered in the beginning, in the very beginning, I told you that if there's one item on this shelf, then this shelf has to have two items. This one also has to have two items, and this has two. Then this will have one item here, right? So in that case, D and E, the only possibility for D and E is nothing but, can I say, the top shelf? There is no other place where I can place D and E, right? So D and E have to appear here, right? And if D and E have to appear here, so you can see that must be true. Option number A is definitely the right answer, right? Inspiro. Okay, that is definitely the correct answer, that D and E are on the top shelf. Why? Because there's no other place left for D and E. So you understand that the moment I did this, right? The moment I worked out this question became so easy. Otherwise I would have made cases here. Once I would have placed D and E here, then I would have placed here, right? So this condition would have not crossed my mind. But the moment I did it then and there, when I was reading the story of this set, it made it easy for me to solve it now here. So I think this was a set based on arrangement. I hope each one of you could follow this particular set here, right? And now I am open to any doubts, any discussions that you have, anything about your profile, anything about the R4 batch, any queries, guys. I'm open here for the discussion. You guys can post your questions here. You can shoot your queries if there are any. I'll be more than happy to answer. Anything, guys. You guys can ask me anything now, and I will be more than happy to answer your queries. Let's say related to the R4 batch, related to the profile. Any doubts, anyone? Inspiro, do you have any queries about anything? Bhavani, you can ask me if there are any doubts. And from the English channel here, Boomer wants coffee. My 10th score is 90%, but my 12th score went down to 60. Okay, no worries. See, you should feel, lucky that you have touched the 60 mark, right? So you clear the basic section, basic cutoff for the most of the colleges, right? If this was below 60, then you would have faced a lot of challenge, right? Now, can I know that whether you come from an engineering background or you're coming from a commerce background? Are you an engineer or a non-engineer? That is one thing which I would want to know from you, Inspiro. Commerce. Okay. So great, great. Then even better. So you have a very good chance of converting a good B school, but your target should be somewhere in the range of 98 plus percentile, right? So if you're targeting 98 plus percentile, then I'm pretty confident that you will get a very good B school convert for sure. And then it depends on your interviews as well. Okay, female candidate, even more advantage. So you are getting a gender diversity as well. Great, great. Okay. So this way, I think you have, very fair chances of, converting a good B school, right? So I would suggest that you should study hard this year. But whatever you're studying from, wherever you're studying from, just give your best. And yes, 98 plus is what you should look at to have a fair chance at the best of the colleges. Yeah. Yeah, 60 is just the lucky benchmark, because the moment you go below 60, a lot of colleges, doors are closed for you. So yes, that's okay, you're safe actually, right? Okay, but again, percentile is one thing. Along with that, profile also you will have to work upon, right? So as and when you find time, you should do some certifications and stuff. Self preparation, okay, great, great, that is also fine. Okay, self preparation will be, very helpful. But then again, I personally feel that, somewhere you would want to have a guidance of a mentor, right? So guidance of a mentor is very, very important. Okay. No, no. In question number five, okay, English channel, I have a doubt here that in question number five, don't we check other conditions after option one? There's no need. Why? Because the moment you see that D and E cannot be placed anywhere else, right? If you see here, the D and E cannot be placed anywhere else, and the question says which of the following must be true. So this has to be true, no? So you don't have to check the other options, right? So it's not necessary now. It says F is on the same shelf as C. Again, not necessary. I can place F here, I can place H here, I can place C here. So is it necessary that it has to be true? No, right? So you eventually don't have to check the other options. A is directly above F, not necessary. A is below F in this, right? C is on the fourth shelf. No, I can place C on the first shelf. This is also gone. C is on the first shelf. I can interchange. I can place C here. I can place F here. So this can also interchange, right? So it is not a necessary thing that, I have to check the other options, because I've already got that this is definitely true. Okay. Now, I'm 26, non-engineer girl, 10, 10, 12, 85, grad 68, 2 years gap, MA 59%, 2025, right now pursuing B.Ed, going to improve my MA scores this year, bringing it above 60, insecurity about gap. Okay, so you have 2 years gap. Now that is something which is, it will backfire a little, to be very honest, right? I will not, sugarcoat things for you, right? Boomer wants coffee. But again, what you can do is you can target as high a percentile for yourself. Okay. The moment you get into the territory of 98 plus percentile, you automatically, make your chances fair enough to, get into a good B school. So first look at a good CAT score, and then after that we can see that, how can we frame your answers for the interviews, how can we prepare you well for the PIs that will be coming forward. So if your PI goes well along with a good CAT score, you have decent chances, right? And then we can see, always a story can be told to cover up the gap. The gap can be justified And also, if you score a very higher percentile, let's say 99.5 plus, so the gap automatically gets justified, so you don't have to worry about the gap as well then, right? Okay, coming back here, so is it possible to get IIM Ahmedabad if I have no work experience? Because I'm in a final year for graduation, my profile is pretty good. It is good, and yes, without uh, Ritu. Okay. Non-engineer female OBC. Yeah, definitely, definitely. You stand a very good chance for all the blackie, in fact, because your 10, 12 is, like, I would say, stellar recads. Not just pretty good, these are stellar recads, and you have very fair chances of converting the blackie. Okay. So you just need to, get a good score. Okay. So can you say something about the free Rodha class and the schedule? So free Rodha classes, we are starting from tomorrow. So tomorrow I have a session at 5 p.m. on the portal, right? Very soon the stories and the you follow us on Instagram, right? We'll be posting the stories and everything about the free classes that we are offering starting tomorrow onwards, right? So you guys can attend those free sessions. You can register yourself on the Rodha platform, have a look and feel of the interface as well, so that you get an idea that how do we conduct our classes, right? Yeah. What is portal? You visit to www.rodha.co.in, right? And I think we'll mention the link of the website in the chat box as well. I would request the moderator to do it, and we'll also mention it. It's already there in the description as well, right? So you can go in the description and find the link of our portal where we conduct our live classes, right? So yes, you can do that, Radhika. All right. Yeah, 99.5 plus will give you a short show convert. Okay. 99.5 plus will give you a short show convert at these colleges. And that's very good. I really appreciate that you are, already setting that high benchmark for yourself. So, it's always a great idea, because when you set your targets high, you work really hard for them, right? So it's very amazing for you to think of like that. Okay. And any other queries, any other doubts that you people have, can you start in YouTube? We will conduct sessions on YouTube, Radhika. Definitely, you'll be doing a lot of sessions. Okay. And you just stay subscribed to our channel. Also subscribe to the English channel that we have, right? So that, if there's a live session on the English channel, you don't miss out on that as well, right? So we'll be doing a lot of classes. Not just me, Abhishek sir will be here, Nikita ma'am will be here, right? You'll find Swapnil sir taking sessions in the morning, you'll find KD sir here. So all the faculties that are here, we all make sure that, we come and do some interactive sessions on with our YouTube audience as well, so that we keep you engaged as well. I know that people who are preparing self, they need that constant push in their preparation, and a faculty coming from with that kind of experience would always guide you in a way which will help you in your preparation. And if you feel that you really want that guidance throughout, then you are free to enroll with us, right? And it's not a big hole in the pocket as well. The fees is very nominal. You can go and check out the website. Okay, prepare for government exams for 1 year. Government exams preparation will definitely help you with the shortcuts that you have learned there, right? So government exam preparation, those people who have done, they have a huge advantage with the number of shortcuts that they know, right? So that is going to help you somewhere in CAT if you find direct questions. So yeah, that will help you. And I hope you have converted your government exams and now this is your plan B. I mean, you really wanted to do MBA, but a lot of people do that. They want to do an MBA, but just to be on the safe side, they first clear government exams and then they come back to the MBA thing. So I hope you're in the same boat. If not, then you have to push even harder for your prep, right? Okay. Anything else? Anybody? Thank you so much, sir. Your explanation was really nice. Thank you so much for that uh, compliment from you. I really thank you for that. All right. Yes, guys, please post your queries, please post your doubts, anything. If your friends have any doubts, you can ask them to join this live. They can also ask their questions related to CAD, related to anything else that they feel that they want to inquire about colleges and stuff. So I'm here. That's it. No queries. All right then. All right. If there are no queries, then okay, we'll wrap up the session for today. I'll be again coming live very soon, most probably day after tomorrow, right? So we will have some more sessions. Okay. So this week, I've started the live sessions here. Also know that there's a PYQ series coming up on our channel where we'll be posting the PYQs of CAD, that is previous year questions, and that will be topic wise. So arithmetic first we are starting, so you can follow that as well. You get a lot of learning from those playlists as well. So that will be starting tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So please follow our channel and stick to it. You'll get all those who are doing self preparation. You'll have great amount of help from the content that we are going to post on the channel. All right. Now there's one more doubt. So let's see. uh, so my profile is 989, graduate in 2024, GEM. Okay, I want to give CAT this year, but I've heard that GEM candidates with no work ex and gaps find it very difficult. See, honestly, I'll tell you one thing, that being a GEM, your profile is good. Okay, 989 is a good profile, right? And for a candidate who's a GEM, to be very honest, if you want these scores, right, the Blackie calls, you have to aim a 99.5 plus percentile. Nothing below that is gonna be of is going to help you to get into these blackies, right? That does not mean you will miss out on the top B schools. You still will have chances at FMS Delhi if you're in the range of 99 to 99.5. But then again, if you get a 99.5 plus, so you might get calls from ABC. That depends again, on how your sectionals are, and how well you have scored in CAT, right? As high your score should be. Okay, so all the general engineer male candidates, please aim for the maximum score that you can, right? Can you please start 100 plus LRDI sets for practice? We'll do that, but not now. In the future, we'll definitely start with 100 plus LRDI sets for practice. So that series will come up, and yes, we'll definitely do that in the future. I want to shift from government exams. Yes, you will. See, you will be able to, get into top tier B school, but then again, you have to aim this kind of percentile, right? Through that, you can look at XLRI as well. That is a very good B school, right? So XLRI is also one thing that you can target through the ZAT exam. All right. All right, then. I hope I have cleared all your doubts. Thank you so much for being a lovely audience and interacting in the live here. And looking forward to teach you guys in future on the YT, and as well as on the Rodha platform when we take the sessions there as well. So I hope you guys will join there as well. And thank you so much again. And if there are any doubts, you guys can reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. So I'll be more than happy to answer to your queries. Thank you.